fancy, but I think it turned out pretty cute. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Melinda, plain and simple. Today I am going to be doing a last minute Christmas craft, and I am going to be using items that I want to declutter from my home. Now these picture frames, I have 8 of them. I bought these years ago and did not use them for what I had planned to use them for. And so I was going to declutter them, and a viewer suggested that I write a poem and put in each one and give it to my family. And I thought, well, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll do that. So I hung on to them for a little while longer, but I never did do it. So I was thinking, I should really just go ahead and let them go. I'm not going to do it. So it's time to just let them go. So I had them in a bin, and I thought, well, if I don't do it this Christmas, I'm just letting them go. And then I also had this piece of fabric. It's a very pretty Christmas print. And when I was decluttering my fabric, I held on to this because I thought, well, maybe I'll use that somewhere. And I actually tried using it as a tree skirt around one of my little purple trees. I didn't like how it looked. So I thought, I'm just going to go ahead and let it go. Maybe somebody else can find a use for it. When I went to put it in the bin so I could, go ahead and declutter it, I ran across these again, and I thought, hey, maybe I can turn them into a little picture, like a little Christmas picture. Maybe they could, I could use them for, they could be used for like a place setting, but I could put them in a picture, cut out rectangles, put them in these little picture frames, and then give them to my family at Christmas. They can take one if they want to. If they don't want to, that's fine. But then they can use it as a picture frame and put a real picture in it afterward, or they could keep it as a Christmas ornament and put it away with their Christmas things, or they can give it away if they want to. They don't have to keep it. Now, another thing that could be done would be, like, for instance, these kinds of things where you have this printed stuff on here, so you could put put a little cut a little rectangle out of something like this. You can use one of these more plain ones, and make it be a place setting thing, or you could use a napkin or any type of thing at all as the thing inside of there, or paper, any paper. Like this one's a pretty one here. Like right there, could you see that part right there? I don't know if you can see. Kind of like that. If you know somebody that likes bees, wouldn't that be pretty? So lots of different ways that I could do this. But since it's Christmas time, I thought, well, that would be the perfect way to use this fabric and these frames and go ahead once and for all, get them out of my house and put them to use at the same time. So that's what I'm going to be, hit the camera. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So if you have anything around your house that you want to do along with me, I'm not going to be able to cut these out on camera, but if you've got something you want to do, whether it's doing a little Christmas craft, maybe you want to fill out your Christmas cards last minute, maybe if you've got anything at all, do a little wrapping of your Christmas presents, or maybe you haven't decorated for Christmas yet, or maybe you're still doing a little decluttering of your Christmas stuff. Whatever it is, grab your stuff and come on and let's do it together. Well, sort of together. I'm going to cut this out off camera, but you know what I mean. Let's get busy. I don't know if you can tell, but this fabric has some wrinkles in it. I ran the iron over it, but still got quite a few wrinkles in it. So I am going to run over it again, this time using the spray feature, and I'm going to see if I can get a little bit more out. Doesn't have to be perfect, but fewer wrinkles means it will be easier to do the project. So I'm going to try to get as many out as I can before I start cutting. I think this is going to be easiest for me to do on the floor. So I've got my fabric spread out here, but it's on carpet. So I took a page from this thing and put it under the section that I'm going to be working with on the fabric. And that will make it easier, I think, for me to cut, so my scissors won't be getting caught in the carpet. And then I've got my frame positioned kind of where I want it with the picture I want, the first one I'm going to cut out. And so what I'm going to do is cut around the outside. Now the only part that's going to really show is in here. So I'll have a little bit of leeway to angle it a little or shift it a little bit once I get it cut. That way if I want to reposition it, I can. But so I'm just going to cut around the outer edges so I don't have to be really precise as I'm doing it, as I'm cutting it. If I just cut this little section, I'd have to be pretty precise. I don't want to have to worry that much with it because, again, I want this to be a quick project, and I've got 8 of them to do. I've got the first piece cut, and as you can see, I did not worry about straight edges. I just used this as my guide for the scissors and just kind of really chopped around it the best that I could. I wasn't worried about it because, 1, nobody's going to see that part, and 2, I'm probably going to end up trimming that down anyway, so there was no need for me to try to be perfect or anything like that. So this is perfectly fine the way it is. So now I'm going to go to the next step, and we're going to see if this is going to look good. Before I move on cutting any more out, I want to see if this one's going to look good, because if this one doesn't look good, then there's no reason to cut the rest of it. I don't want to be wasteful with this fabric because I think it's really beautiful, and I do think that someone can use whatever is left over. So I decided, rather than having to cut into this too far, I just lay the last 4 frames out here on the fabric. I already did 4 of the pictures, but I laid them out, and as you can see where I want the picture, a couple of them overlap a little bit. That means I'm going to have to be a little more careful when I cut here, but that's okay. The other alternative is that I can go ahead and use more of this fabric to get the same picture and not have to worry about it. That would be fine, but like I said, I want to be able to go ahead and gift as much of this away as possible so someone else can use it. So I am opting to take a little bit more time to cut out mine so that somebody else can have a little bit more of the fabric. After I cut around the frame, I cleaned the glass, and you can see I've slid that into position there. So now I'm going to have to do this off camera because I'll need both hands. But I'm going to flip this over, and then I'll show you how I positioned everything to complete the project. Now it's flipped over. You can see, hopefully I don't move it too much here, but there's the frame underneath, and you can see the design on this side. So I know that I want this to be the top, and so I've used this piece of the packaging. There's also a piece of cardboard in these, but I didn't think I needed that. I tried it with that, but I didn't like it, so I took that back out. So instead, I'm just using this piece that came with the frame, and so I will put this right where the frame goes. Well, I moved it, but it's okay. I can refix it. I can fix it. But so this one may look a little off when I'm done with it, but I can fix it. So I'm going to put that into position here with the frame, so you can kind of see how I'm doing. And then what I did next was I just kind of finger pressed the picture down around this little piece of paper. I did that all the way around. Okay, so I won't do it all the way here because that's going to take me a second, and it'll take, really it's best with both hands. So I would get that all the way finished, and then with everything in as it goes, so it's going to be like that, then I would put this thing into position. Now what I want to do, see, I want that to be the top. So when I put this in here, I made sure that was at the top. So that way I know when I put this in here, this way is the top because I want this to be at the bottom. So that way I know when I get it done, I'll have it in the right position when I turn it around. I have a nice bit of fabric that I can go ahead and pass along to someone else. I'm going to toss the packaging that came with the frames, what they came in, and then also these little cardboard bits that I did not use. Now in the past, I would have kept this. I would have kept this. Probably would have tossed that, but I also would have kept these little bits of scrap fabric because I would have thought I can do something with that, but I'm not doing that anymore. I am going to go ahead and toss this along with that. I'm not keeping things like that anymore. I wanted to capture the reindeer, so I got the reindeer heads and some of these beautiful flowers in here. And in this one, I got a little bit more of the reindeer. It's the same picture, but I just positioned it just a little bit differently on the fabric. So you can see I got more of their legs in the front. So there's that. And then this one back here, I got the poinsettia, however you say it, with some flowers in it. And then here I got a Santa. This one, I don't know if you can tell, but he's kind of in a heart. And then there's some flowers there. And then here we have another Santa with some poinsettia. And that same Santa, but again, I positioned it just a little bit differently on the fabric. I wanted them all to look a little different, even if I used the same picture, the same print. And so you can see the same thing here. This is the same Santa, but I positioned it a little differently on the fabric. So they all have their own look to them. I could add a little embellishment, maybe some ribbon or something, but I think they look fine the way they are. So I'm just gonna grab some gift bags from the bin in the basement because I have plenty and I want to use those up. And I'll take them to our family gathering. They can have one if they want one. If they don't want them, whatever is left, I can post them on Buy Nothing after Christmas, so they will still go to someone. But the hardest part for me right now is deciding which one to keep for myself. So tell me down in the comments, if you got to pick one, which one would you pick for yourself? Would you pick a Santa, a reindeer, just the poinsettia by itself? Which one would you rather have? Let me know down there in the comments. Until next time, happy decluttering. Bye, and Merry Christmas. Gifting away my this and that bits. I don't need this, and I don't need that, but together they make quite a pair. A one-of-a-kind, creative design, a gift to show that I care. I'll make it today, then I'll give it away to someone who'll love to receive it. My this and that bits, together they fit. They're exactly what somebody needed. What you doing, Pumpkin? Yeah? Are you going to declutter some stuff? Yeah.